Okay, welcome everyone to the first episode of Traders Talk Podcast, the best Forex podcast, where we sit down with some of the best funded traders in the game right now so we can get a little insight into their story, into their struggle, and some of the accomplishments that they have, and if they can share some tips and tricks with us. So, we can use that as fuel for our fire when we're struggling, right? So, today I have a very special guest. Okay, I have a very special guest. If you think you've seen him somewhere before, it's probably because you have. Okay, David here, aka Wondafx, was interviewed by FTMO about 4 months ago. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, David, you made 62,000 that 1 month, the one that you got the interview for.
Correct.
Okay, awesome. So, I mean, your interview was one of my favorite interviews. Even before I got the interview, I was like, oh, this is so amazing, man. You had great energy. You had an amazing story. And I'm really excited to hear more about your story. I know you shared it already in the interview, but, it'd be really cool to hear a little bit more. So,
Of
David,
course.
if you want to, can you just go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody, please?
Right. Hey guys. My name is David. Yes, as Usman said, I did an interview with FTMO 4 months ago, and yeah, here we are. I've been trading for 8 years now. Wow, man,
Wow.
I feel so old now. Yeah, so it's been a struggle at the start, trying to figure everything out. But yeah, here we are.
So wow, you said 8 years. So is that
hmm
like you've been consistently trading for 8 years, or it was like
I've
on and
been
off in the start?
I've been consistently trading. I think 2013, I started
Wow.
reading Baby Pips.
Right,
I think
right.
January 2013, and not stopped since.
Wow. So you've
Yeah,
been very consistent at that. Okay.
right,
And then like how much of that time was like not profitable
man. I'll
or
say,
struggle?
oh, the first 5 years
Yeah.
was tough, and even as a trader, every day you have to fight the demons, right? So
I was gonna bring this up with you. Yeah.
yeah, so it's yeah, even though it's like 5 years, you struggle, even trying to figure out what your edge is, because at the end of the day, most traders are trying to find what our strategy or what strategy to use that's
Mm-hmm.
consistent. You
Yeah.
spend all that time doing that, and then even then there's still a lot more things you have to keep working on, even on a daily basis, even when you even get to that
Yeah.
point of consistency.
Like, yeah, a lot of people, what I hear from a lot of people is like they think, oh, once I get that 100K funded account, it's just money's gonna start coming in, or I'm just gonna automatically start winning trades. It's not like that. It just gets harder. Like, I don't know.
Of
For me,
course.
sometimes I feel like the struggle of full time trading can be really stressful sometimes, right? So it's nice to hear people's story like this. Even for me, it's very motivational. I still go through it. And then another thing for people is like, you spend 5 years, for somebody else it may be three, somebody else
Of
it may be six,
course.
seven. Everybody's gonna be different, right?
Right.
So you've been trading for a very long time now. So that means you've been full time trading for the last, like, how long have you been full time on, like, just the whole
I'll,
time?
no, not the whole time. I'll say maybe the last 8 months. Because I had a decent job, and at the
Hmm.
time I just thought, working from home, I
Right,
was trading, so it was easy for me. So yeah,
right,
I
right.
just decided to take that leap. Then yeah.
Okay. Now, what I got from the interview was, I don't know, maybe was it that you weren't really too interested in going down the typical job path route?
Um, I don't think I'm a great employee, to be honest with you. I just like
Yeah,
I remember my first gig in
yeah.
Canada. It was an internship at a huge construction firm, and
Hmm.
I worked for 4 months, and I worked my butt off. Usman. It was
Yeah.
crazy, and it was no pay. I wasn't getting paid because I was an intern, but it was with the
Oh,
promise.
right. That
It
you'd
was
get a
with a
job?
Yeah, it was a promise that
Yeah.
in the 4 months, you'll get a job, right?
Hmm.
Usman, I'm talking about 8 o'clock in the morning till 9 p.m. at night, like
Damn.
working my
For
butt off
free?
for free.
Shit.
Hold
That's
you hold
crazy.
you holding on to that hope, right? And at the end of it, they were
Wow.
like, David, you did great job. Just go home for a mini vacation, and we'll call you back. We're
And then
just
never
trying to
go.
like work on the budget issue and blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm still waiting for that call.
Damn. Are you serious?
I'm still waiting for that
Oh my
call.
God. I
It's
would have been so
2014.
mad.
Oh my god, yeah.
So
Tell me
did,
about
did
it.
you go to did you go to school here in Canada, or was it somewhere else?
I did my undergrad in the UK, Bangor University. I
Okay.
did I did
Oh,
electronics
wow.
engineering. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, and then I did a postgraduate here in Canada.
In Canada? Okay, awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
So you spent quite a time, getting all these degrees. I don't think you put any of them to use.
No, no, none of them, none of them.
That's okay.
It's been
That's okay.
fascinating. Yeah, that's life, right? On the
That's how it
educational
is,
system,
yeah. It's just kind of like, you go through different parts of life until you find, I guess, something that clicks with you.
right? And
So
as
I
someone
mean,
would say, no
yeah,
knowledge, no knowledge is lost, right? So maybe at some point you're gonna end up using it.
maybe you will, right? As an engineer, maybe you'll develop something and you'll use it. Now, in your 8 years, or at least the last five, maybe when you started getting a bit more consistent, do you think there was ever like an aha moment where you felt like, or like you saw a strategy that you developed and it was like, okay, I think this is gonna work. I should stick with this. Like at any point, did that point ever come?
I think for the most part, like everyone, go through. If for I think for the most part of the 5 years, I was trading the daily chart. Because
Hmm.
you hear one or two people say, "Oh, never go down, no, never go below the 4 hour chart," because you're just
Right.
opening yourself up to like
Yeah. Yeah.
those spikes. So I was like, "Oh man, I'm just gonna stick with the daily chart because it's safer." So I
Safer.
yeah, it's safer, and I did that for so long, and I remember being in a trade and it was sort of I was getting that consistency slowly, but I remember one time being in a trade. It was a trade with Nasdaq, and I was in it for 2 months. I was in it
What?
for 2 months, and it
How?
was
Oh, it was a
well,
daily chart. That's why.
it was a daily chart,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was I was over like 200 pips in profit, and
Okay.
and then it came back to hit my break even.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So that
Two
was
months.
for 2 months. So it was like I
I
did
would
all that
never.
work. I think what it was even worse because it was coming back and I just couldn't handle it, and then I didn't like move my stop loss from break even to like where the stop loss was initially.
Oh
So it
no.
actually hit my stop loss. So it was worse. So at
That's
that point, I'm
two,
like,
2 months is a
screw this.
long time
Tell me about
to
it. Yeah,
hold a
it's a long
trade.
time. Yeah,
So
so it was
now,
that I had all that, those little phases. Okay, okay, I'm not gonna hold trades for 2 months anymore, and it's just try things slowly and keep changing and keep changing
mhm.
and keep changing, and then just realize you're back where you started.
But then now you're pretty comfortable with the strategy that you trade.
Oh
Obviously, you've
yes,
made all that money. So
right.
have you kind of dialed down from the like? Are you on the four? Are you going lower than the 4 hour ever or no?
Oh yes, I am. Oh yeah, I am right at the 1 minute. So even though
Okay,
I'm still trading the
cool.
same, very similar in the style where the interview I did with the FTMO, the highs and the
Hmm.
lows.
Right,
Usually, I would wake up at 2 o'clock to 11 o'clock to trade. So I've dialed
right.
out. I dialed that all the way down. So I'm just trying to trade 2 hours a day now, as opposed to like
That's
nine
it.
hours. Just that's it.
Right. Yeah.
So like then I have to go to, even though I'm looking at my highs and lows. I think on the interview I did, I was looking at the 4 hour highs and
Yeah.
lows.
Yeah. Yeah. You said yeah.
But in this case, I'm looking at the 1 hour highs and lows. Then I'm going down to the 1 minute. So pretty much the same process, but
For
just two,
entries.
yeah, two just
Yeah.
different time frames. So instead of 4 hours and the 45 or 1 hour, I'm
Yeah.
I'm doing the 1 hour and the 1 minute. So now
Okay.
I think there was a trade I took 2 weeks ago. Like it took 7 minutes and it hits 4 hours. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what
That's
I want,
crazy.
or that's what I want
Quick.
now.
Yeah, because sometimes it's hard holding trades too, right? You get all your emotions are involved and things like that. I heard
Yeah.
you say that you trade the London, so you get are you still doing that? Like, do you still get up at 2 in the morning?
I still get up. I still get up at around 2:30 because I'm trying to trade 1 hour, and the 1 hour is between 3 and 4. So three and
Right.
four and 9 and 10. That's when I'm looking to
Okay.
trade now. Yeah. So I'm
So
still
is there a
trading the London
reason?
session.
Is there a reason you're trading London over like is just pre New York or New York and torturing yourself waking up?
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's just so the kind of trades that I'm looking for is, like I said, I've dialed it down to 2 hours, and I'm looking
Right.
for a certain type of setup.
Right.
Um, if I stick to the New York, just the New York, I don't think I'll get enough trades. I will see
Right.
maybe
Right.
2, 3 trades a month,
Right.
but then I
Oh,
need,
okay.
it's just the number
Matches
of
your
trades.
strategy. It matches your
Exactly.
strategy. Right. Okay.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah. So just basically looking for opportunities. The
Hmm.
more, obviously, Asia is like most of the time it moves sideways.
Yeah, it's pretty
Um,
slow.
yeah. So trading New York and London gives me more opportunities.
More
Let's just say.
opportunity, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I trade pre New York into like around London close. So I'm on the
Okay.
charts for about 6 hours, but just my strategy is a little different. I'm on the 1 hour and 15 minute.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, everyone has different strategies and different times. Now, I want to ask
Interesting.
you an
Yeah.
interesting question. Okay, this was on the interview, so
Right.
so I'm not just randomly throwing it out there. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if I heard this correctly. Did you say on the interview that you lost $100,000 in one trade?
Yeah.
Is that
Yes.
right?
That's right. That is
Damn,
right. That was brutal.
damn.
I
Do
couldn't
you want?
I
Do
couldn't
you mind
sleep.
just going into that or no?
Of course, of course. It was I had a pretty amazing idea at the time. For was like, man, I can double my money in every
Gambling,
trade.
basically.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah,
gambling. And I was like, man,
yeah.
I just need 7 trades and I can hit $1 million, right? Because I
Damn.
can double it and I did it all the way to 100,000. So I remember I was in it. I think I had
Oh, you
50 something
started with a
k.
smaller amount. You
I
started
said
with a smaller,
I started with 10,000. Yes, I started with ten
and you took it to
thousand.
100K.
I took it to 100K.
Oh,
and
damn.
and then, oh man, because that's the once you get to 100K, you're already like you're already
Your
daydreaming.
confidence is going. Your
Yeah,
confidence is. Yeah, yeah,
of
yeah.
course. Yeah, and I just I took 50 to 100 the night before, and I woke up feeling on top of the world, and by the end of that
Damn,
day it was gone. um yeah,
damn.
so it wasn't even like a case where one trade would have blown everything. It was,
Yeah.
one trade, man, I'm losing like 40,000. How is that? I can't handle a loss of 40,000. So I'm then moving my stop losses, and I hope it
Just
comes
trying to
back
get it
down.
back.
Yeah, and then
And
it came
that's one of the
crashing.
things that I'm going to be talking about later is one of the things that really hurts me is not when I'm sad or losing. The worst, sometimes the worst days that I have is when I'm too happy. I've won two, three trades in a row. I'm like, okay, you know what? Like, there's no reason for you to have a funded account and you make 5% in a day to try to go and make more.
Hmm.
Or if you make 10% in a, and I think a lot of people make this mistake where, and I've made it in the past with my FTMO accounts, I've taken two up to 20%. So I had
Mm,
40% total, right? That's
mm,
enough money. That should be enough money to make anyone happy.
yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Let's take the 20% to 30%.
Mm,
Why not? And then it doesn't go well from there. So
mm,
I think your happiness can be also a bad emotion that you should
hmm.
be aware of, right?
Yeah,
I think if you
euphoria.
win, yeah, if you win too many trades in a row, I think it's a good idea to even then take a break, right? Same thing when
Yeah,
you're losing trades. What do
yeah.
you think about that?
Absolutely. No, you're spot on. I guess it's for me it's like it's something where it's a challenge between that contentment and the idea of like, uh, I want to grow. You know what I mean? You want to push
Yeah,
the
yeah.
limit.
Push the
It's
limit.
it's a very thin line, because sometimes pushing the limit can then everything then you then lose all the progress that you've made.
Yeah.
But you can also say maybe you should try and push the limit, because maybe once you get it, then you can up the game. You can hit another level of
Yeah,
it's a very thin line.
I mean, so yeah, I would say if you're new and this
Yeah,
is your first time getting a funded account, don't do something like that.
of course,
For
of
me,
course.
I've been recently doing that just for fun. Uh, I'll send you the link, but I just did a YouTube video I released on Monday where I did the FTMO challenge in one day. Uh, it was just for fun, just for the YouTube video. I
Mm,
wouldn't ever suggest anybody to do that. But yeah, once you get very familiar with your strategy and you know what a good setup for your strategy looks like, you can definitely push the limit. Um, but yeah, it's still a struggle, right? Now, one of the things that I heard you talk about, which really resonated with me, because I actually heard this before from a mentor when I first started trading. And it kind of goes like this, and you kind of said it the same way. It's like you need to give your strategy at least 100 chances to play out, right?
yep.
Something around those lines. Because
Hmm.
what I was told from my mentor in the start was you need to give your strategy, you need to have enough money in the account to let it go, let 100 trades play out for
Hmm.
100 chances at the probability then know, okay, this is my real win rate. This is how I'm actually performing. But a
Hmm.
lot of the times, even my first year, I never actually even made it to the 10th trade. It was
Mm,
just fifth trade account blown, set maybe 12th trade account blown. So yeah, you want to just talk about like probabilities and
of
something like that?
course. And like it's spot on, because like if you think about it, we're all playing a game of probabilities. And I guess it's a question of, yeah, what is your win rate? A lot of people don't even know they don't get to the point where they even know what their win rate is.
Yeah,
They've not taken, say, 50 trades, with the same strategy, and it's like, okay, I win 40, 50, 20% at the time.
yeah,
No one knows that. So if you know
yeah.
what your win rate is, that would even help you with your risk, because
Right,
if
of
you
course.
if you're winning two out of 10 trades, then you should not be risking anything more, than
Yeah.
point something percent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Sure.
you want to give yourself all that room. The sense. I mean, what you just talked about in knowing what your best trade setup is. You need
Hmm.
to know what your best trade setup is. I'm talking about the one that okay, this one wins 50% of the time. This one is a B.
Hmm.
What I've been trying to do now is to grade setups. Like when I say setups, is like the trades that I enter, the setup that I see. I want to
The
start
best setup
grading
for
them.
you.
Exactly. I want to
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
this is an A setup. This is a setup where
Right.
I know
Right.
that, when this setup comes, and obviously the
Hmm.
best setup will probably come 3, 4, 5 times a month. It doesn't come
Hmm.
often.
Yeah.
Once you know what your best trade setup is, I'm talking about A plus setup that would work most of the time. Because sometimes I'm sure
Mhm.
you've been in trades where you're like, man, this is a setup I know this should work. Most of the time, it should work, right? And
It
the other
should. It
setups,
does.
now the
Most
setups
of the
are
time.
just like so, like,
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna take them, right? So you
Just
should know
because you
what
have
your
to.
exactly,
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
strategy
Yeah.
tells you to, or whatever,
Yeah.
right? So what I've been trying to do is to grade my setups, A plus, B plus. I'm talking about something you can duplicate, in the
Right.
sense where
Right. Right.
this is what I'm seeing today. This is what I'm going to see tomorrow. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, yes, the market throws different things at you, but there are some traits that just looks exactly the same. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I call those textbook setups.
Textbook
For
is
for
that
for
spot
my
on.
for my strategy, sometimes there's just this one setup. I'm almost 100% sure. I mean, it works a lot of the time, okay? But that
Exactly.
doesn't mean I can
Yeah.
go crazy with the risk. But
Of
it's
course.
nice to see that setup happen once a week. It's a very big confidence boost.
Of
Now,
course.
are you actually are you actually writing this down or taking screenshots of it
Oh
somewhere,
yes,
or is this like
I
a mental thing?
I know I have my journal. Like when you write it down, it helps you process. I feel like the time sometimes you wake up and like, man, I'm just gonna go straight to the screen. You wake
Yeah,
up 10 minutes before your trading time. It's the worst. It's the
I always
worst
lose those
thing.
trades.
Same.
Yeah,
You're not prepared. Your mental, like, I guess it's just like mentally, your mind is not ready to
not ready.
face
Yeah,
all the, like, um, you know, challenges of the market. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you have to journal, man. I can't stress it enough. It just helps you, process your thoughts, and it's a lesson for me as well. Yeah, journaling is key. Is key.
So now, will you write the journal before you take the trade, or just like you'll enter the trade and then you'll write about it? Like this was the setup, and
Not well, for me, I guess, for different people,
yeah.
different, yeah, for me, I have to write, what my thoughts are, and what
Mm-hmm.
I think, or you can say what your thesis is for that trade. This is what i'm
Mm-hmm.
um, i'm looking for. Just by writing it down just helps your mind actually looks, helps your eyes actually see it, and then
Mm-hmm.
it helps you just like that fear, that pressure of I have to enter this trade because, oh no, the fear of missing out,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fear of
kind of
missing
thing. But
out.
when you have it written down, it just helps your mind just relax because I know this is what I'm
Right,
looking for.
right.
Yeah, so I write it down before I actually take it, and while the trade is moving, even before I see an opportunity, I'm writing down, okay, this is what it's done. I'm waiting for it to get to this point, kind of thing. Just kind of
That's
like
really good.
putting your thoughts into paper, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like regular journaling too. Because that helps as well.
And that's it.
Um, how many pairs do you typically trade on in like one session?
So in the session now, I'm just sticking to one pair. I know in the interview I was trading
I think
GU and then
GJ.
GU and
Yeah.
GJ. So now I introduced the round numbers, so zeros and
Hmm.
fifties. So
Right.
I want to be taking the trades at zeros and fifties because I think they have the, like, most
Strong
most
levels.
yeah, most of the best trades comes off fifties and zeros,
Right.
especially. So just to give my setup a little bit more, more layer. So
Uh-huh.
zeros and fifties, but I find that GU and GG don't interact with the zeros and fifties regularly enough, um,
Yes, you're correct. Yeah.
compared to, say, gold. So gold,
Okay. Okay.
I trade just gold now. I mean, I would look at the indices now and then because obviously very
Hmm.
volatile. They interact with zeros and fifties a
Yeah,
lot,
yeah.
but
Yes, they do.
I feel, yeah, I just feel like gold is, it gives me enough opportunities for the month. I don't need to
Yeah,
look
and
somewhere else.
if you're just trading gold, gold is so crazy. That's one of the things I don't trade. For me, just personally, it's just I've had
Yeah.
some bad experiences with gold. But there's so much movement that one trade and one trade a day on gold should be enough. Typically, I
Right.
think. It can move
Exactly.
enough pips to do that. Now,
Exactly.
do you have a rule like if I lose more than 2 trades in this session, I'm done. I'm gonna walk away from the computer.
Oh
It's
yes,
over.
oh yes. Like I think everyone needs to. You don't want to. You don't want to take all your losses in one day.
Yeah, yeah,
It's something like I just keep telling myself. Sometimes you like, okay, I'm gonna take the third. Like sometimes if you're not at your best performance, like I'm gonna take one more. I'm just gonna, you know. Those ones,
yeah,
that's what screws. I think that's what eats at your soul, really. Because sometimes if you take a loss that's based on your strategy, you feel it's okay, because I know tomorrow it
yeah. I'm
could
gonna be back.
work, right? But the
Yeah,
ones where you like you take an additional loss where you're not supposed to,
that
those
gets your
ones,
emotions
it's
going.
yeah, they
Yeah,
eat at your soul, man,
yeah,
for real. So yeah, I have a max loss limit. Obviously, with FTMO,
okay.
you can't just lose more than 5% a day.
No,
So, but even with my personal account, I have a max loss as well.
max loss. Even with the
Yeah.
fund, like personal accounts, it doesn't stress me too much. But even though I'm very good at managing the funded account, I hate going into drawdown on those
Hmm.
accounts. It's just something starts going in my head, like, oh no,
Yeah.
what if it's just I like that I need to stay up above the 100K, 102, whatever that I'm comfortable.
Right.
So how long ago, David, did you actually like was FTMO your first firm that you got funded with?
FTMO was the first. FTMO was the first
Okay.
one. Yeah, I think FTMO was the most popular at the time, and then
Yeah,
you have all these other ones coming up. I wasn't sure of I wasn't sure what they're about, so I just stuck with
right.
FTMO. But then I'm with my first fund as well. Been with them
Yeah,
for 2 months now. Yeah, you as
same.
well.
Yeah, yeah,
Perfect.
I
Yeah,
have them, yeah,
and I was
yeah.
with Funding Talent as well.
Same before they
Yeah,
burned and crashed, right?
before y'all came crashing. So that was
Yeah,
that was a fun experience.
that was an interesting experience. I actually before they burned and crashed, I actually just got to 300,000 with them. I
Oh
had a
yeah.
100K account just before, like I think I was supposed to get my the third account that day. And I had just in the month of August was really bad for me. So I lost one FTMO account. I was really like, okay, funding talent, you know what? I'm just going to stick with them for a little bit and then I'll get up my other FTMOs back. And then I was like, what? What is this? Like, I need these accounts.
Oh my
But I've
gosh.
been trading with my Forex funds and they've been very, I'm sure you know, they've been pretty
Yeah,
consistent, very reliable.
they've been very reliable, very reliable.
Yeah.
Just like they're not the same support as FTMO, but I mean live, like but
They're
it's
very
it's
good.
growing. Yeah, they're very good though. They are very good.
Because I had a second payout that was a pretty big payout, and I think something happened. They sent it to the wrong bank account or something, so it kind of freaked me out because it was right after the funding talent thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh no, here we go again.
Mm,
And then I was like, but then they dealt with it within a week. They had me sorted out, so that really gave me
yeah,
my trust in my Forex
trust in
funds.
them. Yeah, yeah, and
Um,
they're gonna be getting all the funding talent
they're
customers
good.
anyway. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, they should
They
be.
better be able.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So the first time, did you just like apply for the first time you did 100K challenge, or was it like lower?
Yeah, I have this mentality. My wife would say it's bad, but it's always a big go big or go home. So I got all the 400 in one time. I mean, I
Oh
got
my God,
300.
really?
Yeah, I got 300 in one. I want in one go, and then
Damn.
I got the other 100.
Did you
Because
go
I think I
100,
had it. Oh
Did you
no,
buy
yeah,
the
it
100K
was.
account separately?
Yeah, when I bought the challenge, it was they didn't have the 200
The
at the
200.
time. Yeah, I think so. And the
Mhm.
max was 300 at the time. So I had the
Yes,
300.
yes.
Yeah, I had the 300, and then I added the 100 to it.
Now, do you use a trade copier to copy between accounts to
Correct.
make it easier? Right? Yeah, same.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because yeah, that's better to do.
Oh yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah.
okay. And so, how long have you been like? How long? When was your like? Was it this year that you got funded or last year?
Oh, it was this year. It was. I think it was 2 months before.
Before
Yes,
the
maybe
interview?
6 months. Yeah, yeah. 2 months before the interview. Yeah, yeah,
Okay. And
yeah.
before that, you were trading your personal account.
Oh yeah, I've been trading my personal account since. I'm
Okay.
still. Yeah, I think that's always my focus, my personal account. Because with FTMO, like FTMO and the rest of them, whatever you blow the account this month, you can get it next month.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
I'm not trading the funding challenges. So I can get rich. I'm sorry, to take small risk on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going into
Going
them.
hard. Yeah.
Exactly. And then my
Yes.
personal account is the consistent.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that's what
for me,
I've
anyways.
done over the last 6 months. I mean, there was a period when I didn't have any personal account, But then when I
Right.
lost my first FTM account, I was like, you know what? This really isn't reliable. Like I could have a bad month any month. And even if
Exactly.
you're a really good trader, it doesn't matter. You're gonna have a bad week. You can have a
Yeah.
bad month. And I've
Oh
heard
yeah.
some really seasoned traders say they even have bad quarters.
Oh yeah. Bad years.
So
It happens. There's some
bad
hedge funds,
years.
some bad year. You know, ten
So you
percent,
can't just
ten
rely.
percent. Oh yeah, ten
There's
percent
nothing.
drawdown is nothing. It's pretty
Nothing.
good. You know, if you go to like any prop firm and like I've got a ten
Yeah.
percent drawdown over a year, like that's amazing. You
That's
know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah. The fact
But
that we can
of
maintain it is
course,
pretty good.
yeah, but of course, with the funding talents, I mean, the funding challenges, accounts, yeah, you lose your challenge after 10 trades if you risk 1%, right? But again,
Unfortunately, that's what it is.
you don't want to risk 0.2%, you
You're not
know,
gonna make anything. You're not.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then what's the point
I
of it?
think a good rule of thumb is to stick between 0.5% and 1%.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's good. So is there anything, David, that you would kind of advise people that are like, kind of they think they're kind of ready, but they're not ready. They're just about to take the challenge. Is there any like kind of suggestions you would say for the FTMO challenge? Because I know you've done a few so far,
For the FTMO challenge, it's just, well,
or
don't
any
take
prop firm challenge, right?
right.
Yeah.
Don't take those challenges if you don't have a strategy that works, right? And the strategy that works is something where you've back tested and you've actually started trading it, on a smaller scale, say maybe with $100,
Mm-hmm.
because you find you can go demo, but it's not the same emotions,
It's
right?
not the same
Putting
motions, no.
exactly, yeah. So don't rush the process. I know we all want to get rich fast, but you only need to get rich once. If you think about it,
Yeah, yeah.
you can
That's
have
true.
you can have 1 2 good
Yeah,
months and you've made all the money you need,
for the whole
for the
year.
next exactly.
Yeah, pretty
So
much.
don't rush the process. Take your time. Take 1 2 3 months to actually understand what you're doing, because really at the end of the day, if you just go do the challenge and you just lose it,
It's
it's
a
just
waste of
money.
money.
It's a waste of money.
It's a waste of money.
Exactly. So why rush the process when
Yeah.
FTMO is going to be there, as
They're all good.
for
There's
the
gonna be more there. There's so
this
many coming up.
spot on. Yeah,
Um,
and
yeah,
that's it.
I think getting comfortable with your strategy, that was a big thing that I overcame this year. I was kind of hopping strategy from strategy last year.
Mm,
Once I found something, and I'm a big believer in, like, I think some strategies work with some people because everybody has a different personality, right?
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some people may be good at scalping, just that's just how they are. They can't stay in the trade too long. They get
Mm-hmm.
anxiety. So for me, it was like this when I found my strategy that worked for me and I developed it and I made a system. That's when everything kind of started clicking for me. I
Mm-hmm.
think you should wait at least to a half of that point where at least something is working and you're
Mm-hmm.
confident. Because then when you go into the challenge, okay, I don't need those. I don't need any signals.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need any help. Like I know what I'm doing. If
Mm-hmm.
you lose the challenge, it's whatever. Okay, it happens. I've lost two
Mm-hmm.
challenges this year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think it's just getting comfortable with your strategy and that's it. But I think prop firms are great. We're really lucky to have them around at this time, right?
Oh yes. Oh
Um,
yes. It's an amazing
so
opportunity for a trader, because like what 2013, 2014, like there were not even that much educational information on, say,
yeah,
YouTube, but now there is maybe, or like too much
there's
information
so
out
much.
there.
Honestly, there's too much. There's too much information. There's too
Yeah,
much
so
information. It can get overloading.
yeah.
Now, before we end this off, I actually just wanted to ask a couple of more questions. So, how did you find out about Forex at the time? And was there like a mentor or somebody who taught you? Like, how did you learn?
Right. So I found out about Forex. It was a friend of mine. This was say 2009, 10. It just talks
Hmm.
about this thing where it's like, man, like I can take you to a cafe right now and we can make $100. It's like, what? What's this thing? It's like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
Forex, man. And I think I downloaded like an MT4 platform at the time in uni, and
yeah.
I'll use it to brag to my friends, like, yeah, look at this thing. It's just moving. It's like, yeah, I can make some money off it. No idea what it was
Yeah,
about. I had it for like 2 or 3 years, and my friends would come into my room like, "Man, what's that?" I'm like, "Yeah, look at it.
yeah,
I can
yeah.
make money off it." And
Oh
then
yeah,
I had
because
it for so long.
back then
Yeah,
making money online wasn't even
it wasn't a thing.
like a visit. It wasn't really a thing, right? So it
Exactly.
was probably crazy.
Yeah.
So did
And
you
then,
have somebody
and in terms,
like? Did
yeah,
you learn?
yeah, it was all self-taught. It was all self-taught. I started with baby pips,
Uh-huh.
and then I went off that because baby pips will give you some kind of like small basic strategy, and then you
Yeah,
try to
right.
start to implement that, and
It's a good starting point.
Yeah, the problem is once you
Yeah,
get your feet wet, once you just
yeah,
put your first $100, $200, and you want to you've made a decision to just stick to it. Usually,
yeah,
you will find a way. But I've never had like a mentor. You buy courses here and there. You listen to YouTube videos, and I still
yeah.
do. I still listen to a lot of YouTube videos. I still buy courses because you
Right,
just
same. Yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
still
keep
the
learning.
education never stops, right? I mean, you always,
Exactly.
even just through your own trading, just the last 3 months alone, I've really developed my strategy to a crazy level. Just learning, I was like, okay, wow, let me add this to my strategy. Yeah. So you always keep learning, right? So that's amazing that
Exactly.
you did it. But you said you bought some courses. It's all with the courses. I'm sure you have the same experience. It's like you take a little bit from each course. Not one
Exactly.
course is gonna make you a millionaire, but it will get
Exactly.
you closer to your goal. It will get you
Exactly.
closer to your end goal, right?
Exactly. Yeah, like no, you're so spot on there. You're never gonna get everything you need. I mean, maybe if you're lucky and then you just find someone like a seasoned trader who's like, man, it's giving you all the information out there.
Yeah,
But most of the time,
that's
for
not gonna
most
happen most
people,
of the
nah,
time.
that's not
Yeah,
gonna happen. You have to kind of like take out the weeds from the
yeah,
from the real
for
thing.
real.
And so yeah, but again, at the end of the day, you learn from anyone, really. Any trader, one
Right.
year, 2 year experience, you learn from anyone if you listen to them. Maybe what to do or what not to do.
What not to do, yeah. For me, I actually in the start had really some good people teaching me, but I wasn't willing to listen. Want to use
Mm,
1% risk? Why? I want to make.
mm.
I'm trying to make money, so I didn't listen to these people. And I remember somebody said this to me, and then I was watching your interview again, and I heard the part where you said you need to give your strategy 100 chances to play out. All right, and then I was like, I remember somebody saying that to me my first month, and I was like, what are you talking about? Why?
Mm.
Let's just do it in 5 trades.
Yeah,
We'll find out.
yeah.
Um, but I think this is some of the struggles a lot of the new traders. I mean, even I go through some of this stuff all over again. As you had mentioned in the start, it's a daily struggle.
Mm,
Even if you're funded, even if you're profitable,
mhm,
you're still fighting these like demons that you're every
mhm,
day, you have to kind of
mhm,
fight your own emotions sometimes.
mhm.
Um, but I even though there's all that, sometimes there's some hard days you go through.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
don't think I'd want to do anything else with my life pretty much at this point. I've ran a business. I've worked at a Fortune 500 company. I think this is this is
Great
this is good.
experiences.
I like
Awesome.
this. Yeah,
Yeah, no, yeah,
yeah.
this is the best. It just gives you the freedom over your time, opportunity to learn and grow over like something that can be huge. The
Huge,
upside is
huge.
unlimited, right?
Upside is
So
unlimited. Yeah,
that's the key
and
thing. Yeah.
and honestly, sometimes it's not even too much about the money. Sometimes it's like just the time freedom,
Yeah.
owning your time freedom. Like you said, you trade 2 hours London session,
Yep.
right? Win or lose, you're gonna have some good days. Some days maybe you don't win the trade, but
Yep.
now you can go about the rest of your day. Spend time with your family,
Yep.
do things you're gonna enjoy. I'm sure you travel a lot. I've seen it
Yep.
on your Instagram. You're on a plane reading a
All
book,
right. Oh
right?
yeah. Yeah. Yep. Cause like Canada right now, the winter is down here, so we head
Oh
into
man,
Mexico. We're heading to Mexico again for another 5 months.
5 months.
So yeah,
Wow.
just to be there in the winter. So
Right. So do
that's
you
the
have a
plan.
plan? Do you like rent or like uh,
No, no, we
just
just rented an Airbnb there. Yeah,
awesome?
in the
Where are you
centers.
going in Mexico?
Playa de Carmen.
Okay. Have you done that before?
Yeah.
Like where you went down for like 3-4 months?
Yeah, yeah, we've done like 1 month, here and there, but like yeah, it's just this is the first time we're going for the winter and something we've always wanted
Right,
to do.
right.
So
That's gonna be
yeah, again,
amazing.
man, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna
So
be
you're gonna be trading
awesome.
from Mexico.
I will
Weather's
be
gonna be
trading from
nice. You
Mexico.
can sit on the balcony, you
Yeah, so
know.
the rooftop
That's
pool and
nice.
everything, and it's gonna be a great
Damn,
experience. Yeah,
that's awesome. So with
yeah.
that being said, David, I'm gonna be sharing your YouTube channel below everyone if you wanna.
Okay.
David actually shares his full strategy, I believe, on his YouTube channel. I'm gonna link that down below. But other than that, what's your Instagram handle if people want to give you a follow?
It's a wonder underscore FX.
Okay,
Yep,
so I'll
on
link
Instagram.
that down below
I'm a
as
lot more
well.
consistent on Instagram, but I will be doing more videos on
More
YouTube.
YouTubes?
Yeah,
I'm
I will
sure
be
you
doing a
will.
lot
Yeah,
more YouTubes. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
awesome. So, well, I want to really thank you, David, for taking out the time, man, for doing this podcast. It was an
It's my
honor to have
pleasure.
you as my first guest, man. I definitely took away some stuff today, and I'm sure the people who listened definitely got something to take away as well. In the
Same here,
future, maybe
likewise.
once you're back from Mexico, we can get you on again if things change. You've entered a new level of trading, because every 6 months to a year, everyone levels up, right?
Yep.
But it was really amazing having you on. I want to thank you so much, David.
It's my pleasure, Usman.
Um,
Thank you.
yeah, and guys, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. If you want to see more content like this, we're gonna have traders like David. Maybe we will have David again at some point later down the road. But yes, thank you for tuning in, and have a good day, everybody.